Welcome back to my channel. My name is Roadology, and I'm going to talk to y'all today about the final 2 days as a recording this until the beta, the early release. If you have received a key from any of the Twitch streamers who were streaming Battlefield 6 on the multiplayer reveal, then congratulations. And if you was in labs and you received a code, then congratulations. You are able to play the early access starting August 7th. And yeah, you will have early access, and you will have early access until the 18th of August. Of course, you're going to have to take a break and all that. So don't worry about it. The break will not matter because we will not even be thinking about the break. We'll just be on, Battlefield 6. So I have two things I want to talk about. First off, I want to talk about the maps in Battlefield 6 and how they felt before we get to see the actual beta and feel put our hands on it, right? So I was an active Battlefield Labs tester in May, so I'm not really supposed to talk about everything that was released in May because it was basically like um most it was like a lot of things in the May playtest because obviously it was the biggest playtest. It was like the forefront of the playtest. So I do want to say that the maps in this game is going to be way better than 2042, obviously. So, what should know about Battlefield 6 and the maps is that they're going to be infantry focused, and instead of only being infantry focused, it's going to be vehicle focused. So, vehicles will literally have to push each other and strategize on what objective they should push first because they're going to meet another vehicle if they do so. So, or if they don't like know where that vehicle is at, the vehicle players know better than me. So the maps in this game is going to make you need to push. It's going to make you play the objective. By how the maps are designed, you're going to need to play the objective. If you stand still at a spot for too long, you're going to die. That's what the maps felt to me, and that's how it should be because you're supposed to play the objective and not stay in one spot. So the people who I seen in the playtest who was standing in one spot, they was instantly shot by the side and inside by somebody on my teammates because of how, infused the maps are, how close quarters the maps is, right? And plus the vehicles are in a close quarter combat situation as well, and you'll basically see a vehicle every single time you're out in the open. So you just may want to be careful about that. So the new maps that's coming out that I haven't played, but people in the multiplayer reveal played was Empire State and yeah, basically Empire State. Iberian Offensive, which is once called King's Battery, I wonder why they changed it, was the best map in the game for me. Siege of Cairo is in there as well. Siege of Cairo is not a bad map, and they have other maps that was leaked, but I am not going to say anything about those type of leaked maps because I don't know if I can say. But yeah, they said that there was some hardline maps like downtown. Downtown is in supposedly going to be in BF6. Out of all Battlefield hardline maps, they choose downtown, which they should choose like Bang Job. What's that one map? The beat. They can choose many other maps. Black Friday, they can choose any maps instead of just downtown. I don't think downtown is a good option. It's still a beautiful looking map, but it's not really a good playable map. Depending on, you're choosing. But hey, it might change. I might change my opinion because Hardline is different, right? So, yeah, those maps are coming into Battlefield, right? More infantry focus, more in tune with playing the objective. So that's a success in my book. And I want to talk about one last thing is that the ranking system. So I'm gonna pull this image up. Somebody said that, on Reddit, said that a ranking system or a competitive system should not be in Battlefield. So I have mixed feelings about it, but I do think that a competitive system should be in Battlefield because in the battle log, right? Everybody had a skill level. I showed it in one of my videos back when, like, we didn't even have a playtest about what should be in Battlefield, like the battle log and server browser. So the skill level, it was basically your competitive level and your achievements and how good you can play the game and how many matches you can win with randos or with people who is in your squad or your platoons or anybody in your clan or whatever that you prefer to play Battlefield with, or how you prefer to play Battlefield. So the thing is that ranking systems can bring a lot of people who are, Warzone tryhards and preferred tryhards and whatnot. But I will say up front that Battlefield is it's not really a complex, but it's pretty complex in comparison to Call of Duty because it's not a three-way match of, you know, oh, this guy is here, that guy is there, so I know where he's going to be. No, these maps in Battlefield, obviously, they're going to be more close quarters, but there's going to be more areas in, defense and attack, which sometimes you can read, sometimes you can't read, depending on your level on Battlefield. But I think a ranking system isn't really a bad thing. I remember I said in one of my streams that the squad deathmatch was something that can be a competitive. My reason is that, it's four squads, your squad, and then other three squads, which is a 12 man. So it's a 16 match, 4v12, whatever you want to call it. You can make that like you can put vehicles in there and have the map a little bit bigger so everybody can play their respective, classes that they need to play, because obviously you're going to need an engineer to battle somebody who's magically in their squad gets a vehicle because nobody's paying attention to the vehicle. And like you have to have like a rush MCON to probably deploy or try to target the MCOM, kind of like the final site thing, but different, and have the MCOM change if nobody can capture that objective in like 5 minutes or so. It's a lot of things you can do with the competitive system and that. But I do want to say that Battlefield 6 is going to be more focused on making the gameplay feel better. In my playtest, it's not really. It still looks like the same build as my playtest, but it's not necessarily. They did way more things than May's time, and they're probably still working on something now. So we don't know too much. We can only touch the beta in 2 days' time, and hey, I'm happy, but just know that. Okay, so I know I don't have as many kills on 2042 because I hated this game very much. So I didn't really play that much. But on the labs, I played for 36 hours in a total of 2 days. So yeah, that's no life degenerosity right there. But don't worry. I have a good feel on what the gameplay is in Battlefield 6. 2.8 KD and abusing the movement. So basically I was the movement in the game, right? Let's talk about the movement. The movement, I was basically terrorizing everybody who was up close. You can backwards dive and shoot. That was a little OP because, the animation on somebody's other POV is different from your POV. So somebody hit me with it, by the way. Somebody hit me with their dive while shooting, and I got absolutely annihilated by how the, looks of it was. I just got terrorized. And, jumping while shooting, it looks like it's going to be fixed. TTK looks like it's going to be fixed. What everybody was saying, direct the directors, the people who work on Battlefield Dice. The movement is pretty. It's good already, so I don't think nothing needs to change. Unless if it does change, it's going to make the game feel a little worse because if you're going to have these close quarter combat type of maps, you're going to need some type of way to get out of dodge and CQC maps, right? So yeah, that is all I'm gonna say for this video is that hey, the Battlefield 6 beta is coming out in 2 days. I do want to say that I don't know if I'll be able to have keys, Twitch drops to make y'all be able to play the game early or whatnot. I don't know if it's able for me, but if you can't do that, you can probably look at somebody else Twitch. Um, but I will be streaming for y'all, and you know, have fun with Battlefield 6 and do my best on there. And hey, community happy. Why not? Should I be happy? Right? So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say for this video. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'm out.